And our journey follows. After the drawing in Blender comes the slicing in Chitubox. Let's go! In Blender you can export your drawing as STL file and change the scale when you export. You can download Chitubox as a free software, and first thing to do is to specify your 3D printer. Then you can open your STL file. Depending on the scale of Blender, it will appear small or big, but no worries, you can change the scale in Chitubox. The letters appear black because there is a problem with the faces of the drawing. Remember, the file is composed of a lot of small faces. Each face is defined by a normal direction. You can invert it in Chitubox, but here it doesn't solve the problem. You can try the Reaper function in Chitubox. I don't know exactly how it works, but in my case, it solved the problem for only one face. When I zoom in, you can see that one of the face of the G is now inverted. To solve the problem, you can come back in Blender. In edit mode, you can display each normal of each face. For the dog image and the text, there are a lot of faces, so it's hard to know exactly the direction. But there is another way to know if your faces are inverted. On the upright menu, you can check the option Back Face Culling. It will hide the inverted faces. To invert the normals of the letter, go in Edit mode, A to select all the faces and Shift N to recalculate them. Now, if you use the Back Face Culling option, you can see that all the faces are still visible. You can import again the folder in Chitubox, and you can see now that the letters have the same blue color than the rest. To print with a liquid resin, it's better to give an angle to your part, because otherwise it can unstick to the surface due to the viscosity of the liquid. Now that you have an angle, you have to add some support and a raft to sustain the metal. You can add support manually, but there are too many of them. You can use also the skate raft to remove easily the metal from the plate. If you press plus all, Chitubox will add many support. And here you are, it's almost finished and it was quite fast. The last step is to slice the file so that the metal can be printed slice by slice. To print, I will use a liquid resin that polymerizes with UV light, so my liquid becomes solid when irradiated. Of course, you don't want to solidify all your resin, so below the reservoir of resin you will have a screen, for which only the pixels corresponding to the slice will be irradiated. Then, after a fixed exposure time, the plate will go up and the next one will start to solidify. This is my screen that will emit UV. You can see that for each slice you have different pixels that will emit light. For example, for that slice you have a metal and all the dots corresponding to the support. The exposure time is the time for which the slice is irradiated, and it can change depending on the resin you have. After the slicing, Chitubox gives you an estimation of the volume of resin you will need, the estimated price of your printing and the time. Okay, that's it. You can save the folder and it's ready to be printed. So our journey follows. Part 1 and part 2 are done. Let's attack the more practical part, the printing/painting.